Hey traders, today is July 12th and I'm going to go over my trading and Chris's trading for the day. Today was a busy day. Market overall has just had an inside day of, well, not exactly full inside day, but pretty much just a day of consolidation. We did break yesterday's high by a little bit, but nothing significant. So pretty much overall, just a flat, boring, put me to sleep kind of day, but not for the stocks. Stocks today were pretty active, and we traded a lot. Well, I traded one ticker, and Chris pretty much took all the other trades. So basically, MTOR was my trade of the day pretty much. I was waiting for this one um, after I saw yesterday's move into this the close into the breakout point around 750s, and I went ahead and entered this morning. Actually scaled some in on this intraday break here. Stop moving. On this intraday break here, I scaled some in. And then I went ahead and scaled in the rest on confirm strength, and I scaled out on the way up into strength. I actually left a quarter of my position on for a runner. So I took out most of my position in the 70s. I was squeezing, of course, squeezing my stop, and then I actually moved my stop behind this pivot. Once this pivot confirmed itself for a move higher, I moved my stop up here, so I was completely no risk on the table at this point, pretty much playing with the house's money. And I went ahead and started squeezing into this parabolic move right here. And you can see I got taken out around 77. So I was really able to capture this whole move with at least part of my position. Even though I didn't capture the whole position with this full move, that's okay because you don't know. This could have been the top here. I don't know what this is going to do. So that's why I like taking profit into strength like this, because you don't want to get too greedy and think it's just going to run forever, and then it ends up reversing, and then you never got out, so you never took your profit. So really, the way I managed this, I think that I was able to maximize the full potential of the move, yet uh, lock in profit and only play with house's money on that last push. So that was a good trade today that I pulled the trigger on. And then we had one, two, three, four other ones. FDML, these are all, Chris took all of these. I actually don't believe I pulled the trigger on any of these. So FDML was a really good daily chart. Like you can see, this thing looks primed for Monday. I'm definitely going to be watching this on Monday for a breakout. Um, Unfortunately, it didn't go today, but Chris gave it a shot, and I totally agree with what he did. Unfortunately, it failed, but we were able to, get out at the break of this pivot right here, this pivot low. So we were looking for this pivot low to hold, and if it didn't hold, we wanted to be out. So he got out a little bit below that, and I think he may have got some slippage here actually, but anyways, it ended up not working. But tomorrow, I mean, obviously the market's not closed yet. We still have 30 minutes, so this could close into the high a day for sure. But definitely on watch for Monday, 100%. FDML. And then the other one was ITMN, and this was, let me see here. This was a really good catch by Chris because he asked me about it, and I was just kind of, I don't know what I was doing, just too caught up in MTOR or what, but he ended up pulling the trigger on this, and this is our second day parabolic play. And pretty much what happened was, and I remember, I remember looking at this actually, and this is hindsight, so it's a lot easier to see it, but going bar by bar, I remember why I was kind of weird about this one, because what happened was we had this is market open here. We had this run and this pullback. This pullback, it it actually it did not break the low of the open. So that's a good sign. But for some reason in my mind, I just wasn't seeing it. It was just too deep of a pullback for me, and until it just kind of slipped off my radar. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I have other things to mess with. So Chris caught this as it was ramping up, and it gave us this intraday break. And you can see that this never broke the low of the open price. The low was 11.49. It did come back to try to retest, but it never made it all the way down, and then it got bought up immediately. So right there, that is a good sign that this is a bullish sign pretty much. So this is where we're thinking, well, maybe we could get a second day parabolic move. And so Chris entered right after that intraday break. Great entry. I'm glad he caught this because I didn't, and this thing just went. I mean, absolutely parabolic as it gets. And he got out near the high of that parabolic move. And so, obviously he couldn't catch the whole move because we really are we try to focus on the morning moves and pivot to pivot moves and get out. And this one, you would have really had to hold on to it all day, and you would have had to sit through this pretty massive pullback. So you could have, if I think if his position was bigger, he would have scaled out here where he got all out, and then he would have probably trailed his stop behind this EMA, and then probably started squeezing into this parabolic move, so he would have got out the rest maybe somewhere up here. But he didn't have such a big position on it because it was kind of a split second split second a choice he had to make, and he just kind of put an order in and was like, okay, well, this is what it is. So obviously, if he had more on this, we could have maybe got more out of this. But this pullback may have been a little scary to sit through, but you just have to know that it's going to pull back, and you have to be ready, and you have to anticipate it, and don't be afraid of the pullback. You got to stand firm. And then LYV was actually the well, that wasn't the last one, but LYV was one that, oh wow, this thing, I actually was giving him crap about this stock because my rule is, I want to see, this was for a breakout, obviously. I want to see the break of this bar high, this big breakout day here, on the 12th. The high of that bar was 1631. I want to see that break, and that's exactly what we have right here. Chris was actually he wanted to probe it. He's going to kill me when he sees this because this is exactly what he was looking for. But pretty much this morning, this thing was just all over the place. He saw the intraday break right here, but the thing that I was telling him was that this has not hit our breakout point on the daily yet. The breakout point on the daily was up here around 31. So way up here. So by the time you got here, it would have been too late. It would have been way too late to enter this trade. So, with this one is pretty much, he was probing it into this breakout area, thinking that this could have been a big green day on the daily chart. And I'll go back to the daily chart here. So he pretty much was expecting, probing into this breakout point and expecting this green candle to extend past this breakout point for a big breakout bar. So you can see that it broke through the 31 level, and now into the close it could run up. But the thing is with my rules, I want to wait for this break, and by this time it's up too much for me. So that's why he was trying to really probe into this down here, anticipating the break of this 30 level and a continuation. But 30 minutes left into the trading day. I don't know how far this thing can go, but it's definitely going for it at this point. You can see the reaction at this 30 level, my breakout level. It just spiked right through it. So this is going to be fun to show him because he took a graceful exit on it. It was just kind of flailing around. This price action really sucks. But once it got through that, obviously, once it got through this, it started looking a little better. But the question is, do you really want to sit through all this crap and this flat price action, basically? So that was that. That was just a scratch trade. I believe it was just a break even. And the last one was meat. A lot of people were eyeing this thing for a continuation, and I left for lunch, and now I'm coming back, so I don't know what it did. Well, yeah, it failed. So pretty much the break of this 190 level on my daily, and he kind of took a small scaling into it. He didn't take a full position because obviously it's up a lot. It was already up like 9% at this point. So, what are the odds of it continuing? Well, this could have gone either way at this point. You can tell. I mean, I had trend lines pulled. It was forming a triangle. It broke through it, looked like it was bullish, looked like it was going to continue higher, and it ended up just fading out. So I actually took the exit on this because he took our dog out, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it for you. And I took a graceful exit on this because I could see it failing, and I really expected it to go from this level here. If it was going to go, that's where it needed to go from. So I went ahead and said, you know what? Screw this, because if you get bad slippage with something like this, because I'm sure everybody was seeing the same thing, and everybody probably had their stops here around this 85 level, and look exactly what happened. Stops got taken, and we had this little gap here as well, right at that failure point. So I didn't want to risk slippage on it, and I said, I'm just gonna scratch this thing. So just a small loss on that. So overall for the day, we ended up on the day, and we had just a few little break even or scratch trades, but overall we did pretty good. Chris took most of these, and I took one, and I just helped him manage meat, and that was pretty much it, and he took care of the rest. And so that was our trading today.